Wingers are wide, and here comes Mats Naslund. Moving right in, he couldn't shove it by. Hextall knocked it down and then was able to clear. Out of the penalty box comes Sutter, offside against the Canadians, and now Hextall goes barreling out at one of the Canadians, hitting high and hard.
He wanted Chris Chelios as soon as Chelios came across the blue line. And that has to be that big mark that we talked about that's still riding on Chris Chelios' shirt from that hit on Brian Propp in Game 1. That's pretty well a signal that Ron Hextall has kissed the season goodbye. 1 minute and 37 seconds to go. The Flyers are down by 2, and Hextall made a beeline for Chelios. And you know what was interesting about the play was that Chelios just came across the blue line intentionally to stop play, to end up with an intentional offside.
This would have been the point at which the Flyers would have wound up even strength with the Canadians, and Hextall might have been pulled in very soon for an extra attacker. Chelios escorted to the bench where the Canadiens greet him, but there you see Ron Hextall frustrated, and now Dave Poulin is catching some hits from one of the Canadians, so Samuelson moved in, and we have a real powder keg brewing here.
You bet. Boy, did Kjell Samuelson ever land a straight left on Bobby Smith, too. Acton and Ludwig move in now. Ludwig is a lot bigger and stronger than Keith Acton, so he pulled Acton into the pile.
Keep in mind now that Chelios has left, and if I count right, the Canadiens have one fewer on the ice than the Flyers, and Hextall is being restrained by Gerard Gauthier from getting over toward Patrick Roy.
Hextall is also being challenged by Patrick Roy. Roy threw his stick down, took his mask off, and said, "You want me? Come over here." Now Paul Holmgren's leaning over the bench. It looked as if he was motioning to Ron Hextall to come over.
Tough guy Jimmy Mann had an undistinguished career as a Winnipeg Jet, but he'll always be remembered for his actions after the Penguins' Paul Gardner had cross-checked Doug Smale in the face. Before they could drop the puck on the next face-off, Mann would blindside Gardner. That earned him a suspension, and later he pleaded guilty to assault in provincial court. Sports Flashback is a presentation.
Boom, poked away by Hextall, and then Sandstrom was buried in the net. There's a shot almost scored by Sandstrom in the crease. And then boom, Dave Brown buries Sandstrom, who's now going to play dead, and hopes that he gets another 5-minute major as he did last year in the game in Philadelphia.
He took a slash at Hextall, and so they get in there very quickly.
But you know, he's dead on the ice again.
Oh, no, he's going to go down there to make sure that he doesn't get up. He might have to answer it.
Now, I didn't see any immediate arm up by Dennis Morel, but now he's sending Brown to the box, and with 7:21, the severity of the penalty determines what kind of problem the Flyers have in this situation. If it is only Brown off.
Acting school. The next shift out, it'll be going twice as fast as before.
Brown, who earlier in the period had an all-out brawl with Larry Melnick.
Well, there was an excellent poke check by Hextall on Sandstrom. Now Hextall's trying to get set up for the goal, and here's where it is. They cover it.
Well, they give another 5-minute major. So for the Flyers, for the second time in the period, are faced with killing.
Check by Leach on Zalapski. Lemieux to the center point, going to Paul Coffey. Now looking back for Zalapski. Here's Lemieux with the puck. Lemieux fires on, and Van Beesbrook makes that save. And now Lemieux, and oh, is he whacked from behind. And here is David Shaw, and Quinn's got the stick up into him, and he whacks Shaw with it. Lemieux was whacked by Shaw, put that blade, rammed him, and now he comes after Quinn. We might have a bench problem here. I'm telling you, they're dangerously close. Lemieux was just hammered by Shaw with a stick. And Quinn came after him. He doesn't have the size that Shaw has, and he put the stick up into him.
He really got him, too.
Lemieux is down in a heap.
And Lemieux really cranked a slap shot after that. Lemieux turned and gave a shot to Shaw, and then he just whacked him right across the side of the neck.
Fine and suspension.
Schoenfeld allegedly bumped referee Don Koharski in a post-game altercation. You be the judge. Well, you be the judge. We'll hear about that one a little later.
Gradin won the draw. Back to Rick Land. Takes it into the corner. Centers a Petilla shot, and what a save by Grant Fuhr. Gradin is down in the Oilers zone.
Oh, I tell you, he deserves to be suspended. You watch what happens here. Watch Messier. There's just no reason whatsoever for that. We are trying to promote the game of ice hockey as a great game. Years ago, it used to be a brawler type of atmosphere. It is no longer that way. He received 6 games for that. I think he deserves more. It's uncalled for. He reacted totally out of character.
Fans standing, some of them, hoping that maybe a miracle can be pulled out with this one face-off to the right of Dan Bouchard, who has been a standout for Quebec tonight. Now we're ready.
Boston going to put all 4 forwards, 4 of the 5 in front of the Quebec net. Perfect draw needed for Park.
Now there's going to be some stick work going on. Pushing and shoving. Cashman trying to get himself a position. So is O'Reilly. And the fans from the galleries here at the Boston Garden littering the ice. Paper cups. Now Hunter.
It's Hunter and O'Reilly. Looking after. You see O'Reilly trying to get at Hunter, Bob, right now. It started with Cashman and Hunter in front of the face-off circle.
O'Reilly took a swing at the referee, Andy Van Helleman, Mickey. O'Reilly took a right cross at Andy Van Helleman near center ice. And Andy Van Helleman just got out of the way.
Well, he'll be gone. There's no question about that. Dale Hunter already in the box for Quebec. As I mentioned, it started with Cashman and Dale Hunter fencing in front of the net. Usually what they try to do on that is set 3 guys up in front of the net to cover each other. The Bruins have just got to take the Quebec players. Here's see if we can get a look at the swing by O'Reilly. He's got a hold of him, Andy Van Helleman. My goodness, that is going to cost Terry O'Reilly. No question about that.
That's the second time that Andy Van Helleman has received a right hand in his line of duty this 81-82 season. Well, that one from Terry O'Reilly, Mickey, you said it, is going to cost this gentleman dearly, I'm afraid.
Certainly will. Just to see what happens on these penalty calls.